Hi YouTube, hey, I'm back in the video, so I'm just walk around, the street so I can just, enjoy my exercise. So, okay, for this video, I'm gonna talk about, I talk about, I first talk about on how to be careful in living in, Montgomery neighborhoods. I'm gonna do a video about on how to be careful and safe in living in Montgomery, neighborhoods. Okay, okay, this is gonna be my okay, this is gonna be my Montgomery series again about basically basically neighborhoods, on basically learning on how to be safe and how to be careful in living in one of those you know neighborhoods in Montgomery. So first we start off with the west side of Montgomery. Okay, first we start talking about the west side of Montgomery. On how to avoid. I say I really basically you know moving here or not, but I'm gonna tell y'all on how to avoid living those neighborhoods that's not safe and not good for children to live. First, let me start on the west side of Montgomery real quick. The west side of Montgomery is where I used to live at. To where the west side of Montgomery is basically the majority of black people who basically live there. Myself, I used to live uh, myself. I grew up on the west side, of Montgomery though. The west side of Montgomery is kind of like more like the bad part, which is known as the ghetto. Parts of Montgomery, west side neighborhood is basically majority of black people, who basically are old people, basically, grew up on the part of town for many years, and they, or the majority of people who live there, they either basically retirees, they, yeah, the majority of the black people who live in the west side of, of Montgomery is the majority of people who either retire, who either, on, they either old people living there who are basically getting old, they have children, who basically go to those schools, which I've been to, which I attended schools basically in West Side Montgomery. And I attend like Battlegraph and Neil. I attend Davis School, the Nixon School, and I went to other food school. I went to other food back in the day. So the majority of the schools basically federal schools, you know, basically people live on the west side of the area, which is poverty stricken neighborhoods. How once you live in a neighborhood to where it is basically dealing with poverty, but poverty can be a number one problem in Montgomery is poverty. Or how each neighborhood is basically basically of basically of the lower class spectrum of people who don't work. People who don't work means that they live in poverty, or or living in some time of I said where they have no money, or they have no type place to stay. But I said west side Montgomery is basically the ghetto. The ghetto, or could be more about how people who are basically surviving, basically like Montgomery. So yeah, the west side Montgomery could be more like the ghetto side of the city. So okay, next I'm gonna do okay, next is the south side, which I live right now. So the south side neighborhood is more a little bit more quiet, but not much as crazy as the west side area is. But south side area, which I moved back 5 years ago, it's not really much like things to go. I said more things to basically go to, but the south side area is much a little bit more quiet, and it just depends on which neighborhood you go to, you stay at. But each neighborhood could be like quiet, and some could be like more noisy. But the south side area is not much like crazier. It's more quiet, but sometimes it gets more and more of I say like if you live in on a housing division area, which is, basically housing apartments, to where things can be much noisier, how people might, want to live in the area, they could be like, not too much commotion going on, but if you live in an area that could be more, I said not too noisy or not too extremely violent, means that you're safe, But Southside area is basically, I live, uh, I, I said move with mama though, I moved with her about 5 years ago, from the west side I was on, so I think Southside area is, a little bit more quiet than the west side, so. Okay, that's something to do with the east side of town. Okay, east side, yeah, okay. Okay, east side Montgomery is more different, Yeah, yeah. Let's say if you're going to the East Chase, to where to where I got a lot of retail stores, like Best Buy, the phone stores like around town. Is that the east side of town could be like people who basically live there. They got nice houses and nice apartments and everything. But the east side is basically the white side of town or black side of town. Oh no, I think east side of town got Asians and Hispanic people and black people, white. I don't know, but the majority of people who basically live in those type of areas is the Asians and the Hispanics and the whites. And the black people is the majority of people who live in basically the west side of town, south side of town, and yeah. But I think that about the majority of the east side people who live in over there is the Asians and the white people. So, but that's it. But east side of town is much quiet, not really much commotion over there, but just how east side of town can be different from the west, the south and north side. So okay, I'm gonna get to okay, next area that I want to get to is the north side. Okay, the north side of town is basically the same as the west side of town, which is the ghetto. But ghetto parts of the town is living in, it could be more black people who live in north side. The north side of area is much the same, as people who fighting, who cutting up, who doing stuff in the streets. Means that north side of town could be more west side. Yeah, yeah. I think north side is much closer to I said downtown or to the west side of town. Which is about how people basically live in those type of areas. Which it could be poverty stricken. It could be like how people who basically live in their own, neighborhoods, and how they should not be. I mean, or how they should like not be afraid. But I think people who live in the north side of town could be much dangerous, much poverty out there, and how people get killed. I said, yeah, I said like once you live in the, I said like, if you live in those apartments, known as known as Section 8 housing projects, means that the west side and north side is basically the ghetto. In a way, the ghetto parts of the areas could be ghetto. How black people don't want to. I said, I said the way, I said that we get much involved with crime and shooting and type of stuff. Means that the west side versus the north side area is more, mainly black folks. Mainly people who live in poverty in the ghetto. Means that the west side versus north side could be ghetto neighborhoods, to where things it can be on how I think I'd be much careful though on basically going to the north side and the west side of town, because it's about how basically the black neighborhoods, how they represent the whole block. Means that as a majority of them are basically ghetto neighborhoods, how they should not, on if you should be careful on. I say like going to the type of areas where, where it have a lot of crime, but you gotta be much careful how you gotta be much careful. If you're going to a different area around the city, and either you gotta be much more careful on how you're able to approach people though. Basically, type of areas to where you got a lot of people who are living in basically in bad conditions. Crime is number one part of Montgomery's crime though. The crime is the number one problem is killing, the crime, the robberies around the whole city means that I think Montgomery has a gang problem and has a crime with violence too. But I think folks should I say if you visit Montgomery, means that make sure you be careful and be careful which areas that you're going to, because you might never know which areas can have a lot of people who is in poverty, who are dangerous, people who are doing things that can really cause you your life, but you always have to be careful on how you're able to. I have to go to different areas, to where you have a lot of people who is basically I see good or not friendly, but yeah. But the video will be a quick video I'm gonna do for y'all. So just let me y'all comment or either like or tell me what you think about your your own move to I said visit Montgomery or to I still think about which areas that you should avoid going to. So God bless, amen, and peace.